The second half of 2018 will be filled with so many first-party and third-party games that we have never seen on this system, and it will all begin with Smash in what we believe will be September this year.
That's quite a statement, Joseph, don't you say?
But it makes sense, Conrad. It all comes down to the launch of Switch Online.
Yeah, I know, because I wrote that theory after all, Joseph, but let's get over to the intro.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Switch News. Today we look into the future to reveal that behind the little underwhelming first half, there are great deals in store for the Switch come E3 and every single month following it. And throughout the next 10 minutes or so, we will go in detail through how we see E3 shaping out for Nintendo, and brief mini cases on Fire Emblem, Travis Strikes Again, Yoshi, Super Smash Bros. Switch, Pokemon, and Bayonetta 3. The road to E3 was already given in the most recent Nintendo Direct, Direct Mini, and Nintendo Labo. It is all about smaller first-party launches, like Super Mario Odyssey DLC, Kirby Star Allies, and Mario Tennis, and third-party ports such as South Park The Fractured But Whole and Dark Souls Remastered. Needless to say, without third parties and indie releases, the first half of 2018 would have been very bleak and dependent of Labo for Nintendo Switch. It seems that everything exciting regarding first-party or new third-party exclusives are coming at E3 or post-E3, a notion that was heavily confirmed in the March Direct. Splatoon 2's Octo expansion is coming this summer. The same goes for the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane trilogy and Square Enix's Octopath Traveler. Even Mario Tennis Aces comes out after E3 on June 22nd, while me and Conrad will be in New York City for a week. In other words, all minor reveals have been uncovered before E3, and where does that leave us? Namely with E3, which thanks to Nintendo's recent update has been more than clear. In brief terms, it will be as ambitious as Nintendo's E3 presence in 2014. That will say, before this channel was founded and there was still high hopes for the Wii U. Back then, Smash was also dominating the headlines, though most details had already been shared in the months prior. Seeing this, the situation 3 months before this year is much more exciting, as we know that we are getting Smash this year. We just don't know what kind of Smash we will get.
And this is exactly what we love about the build-up to this year's E3. It is surrounded in as much secrecy as prior to the reveal of Zelda and Splatoon in 2014. Well, last year's spotlight was for the most part predictable. This year we are in complete dark prior to the event, as we in reality know jack about Super Smash Bros. Switch, Pokemon Switch, Fire Emblem Switch, Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4. Of 6 games announced prior to E3, only 2 have a teaser trailer with actual in-game characters, and only 1 has shown gameplay, namely Yoshi, another mystery title that we haven't seen since last year's E3.
Stop dragging it out, as we all know that the Big Six will most likely have trailers and release years to fill at E3, and one of them in particular, Super Smash Bros., will be the poster boy at the Expo. Not only in the E3 presentation and booth, but as well through the Invitational Tournament, which along with the Splatoon World Championships, will most likely take place at Nintendo's dedicated Super Smash Bros. E3 booth. We will get down to more specifics in future E3 prediction videos, but for now, let's get over to trailers and release windows for specific games in question, beginning with Yoshi.
We believe that Yoshi will most likely be a late August title that will follow a few weeks after Crash Bandicoot, Splatoon 2 Octo expansion and Octopath Traveler. Why do we believe so? Since we know that this is a game that is near completion and scheduled for a 2018 release, and can't be too close to Super Smash Bros. Or Fire Emblem. As such, we see Yoshi hitting the Switch in mid-August and filling the role that Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle had last year.
Seeing this, we believe Yoshi will most likely be released before the launch of paid Switch Online in September, which brings us over to the online service and Super Smash Bros. Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe might be the giants when it comes to online play on the Switch for the moment. But with the introduction of paid Switch Online in September, we know that Nintendo needs a big seller, and no other game fits that bill better than the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Promised for a 2018 release, it is highly probable that the proper Switch Online service was delayed for this specific title, which will most likely dominate the holiday season with both software and hardware along with peripheral sales. While it is obviously possible that the game might come out in November, we see it more likely that the release of Smash will be closely tied to the launch of paid Switch Online in, say, late September. The appeal for an HD Smash Bros. Experience that can be played anytime, anywhere, and with anyone you please is mind-blowing, and definitely a factor that will lead to record sales. Combined, Super Smash Bros. 4 may have set a new sales record, but with over 15 million Switches already sold worldwide, we wouldn't be surprised if Smash Bros. For Switch will be able to surpass Smash 4 in sales. Like, for real, what other reason would there be for the Switch Online launching in exactly September? Let's remember there are two financial priorities that Nintendo have set for this year: reaching 30 million sold Switches by the end of the fiscal year and successfully launching their next revenue stream, Switch Online. Both of these goals are naturally closely tied to Super Smash Bros. As one of Nintendo Switch's by far biggest system sellers. Another reason for a September launch is that the launch of Smash 4 showed that Smash doesn't have to launch near the holiday season to sell, seeing that Smash for 3DS is the by far best selling of the two versions, only surpassed by Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the immensely popular Wii. October will most likely be covered by Fire Emblem Switch, a game that we basically know nothing about apart from the fact that it is scheduled to launch this year and that it has been in development for quite some time now. Even so, that doesn't mean we can state that the game will be ambitious, as this will be the first HD Fire Emblem game and the first title in the series since 2007's Radiant Dawn to be released on a console. Expect big tribal and family feuds, waifu relationships, and deep strategic turn-based combat, as this game will once and for all prove that Fire Emblem on the Switch will be a decisive leap for the franchise both in storytelling and gameplay. The late October window post-Smash would fit perfectly, filling out the gap between giant Nintendo releases.
Which leaves us with November and December, and with Yoshi, Super Smash Bros. And Fire Emblem out of the way, what is really left? Well, we could end up with a third-party November like last year with games such as Travis Strikes Again, though we doubt it as we see that title, The World Ends With You Final Remix, and other third-party titles equally spread throughout the second half of the year. Instead, we see Pokemon or whatever retro studios are working on in this slot.
Pokemon Switch could still come out this year, though we wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed to 2019 and the slot is instead filled with Retro's long-anticipated title. Seeing as we still have no idea what this game is, it could be a new IP with the same star power as Horizon Zero Dawn, meaning it has the chances of being a huge hit for Retro Studios and Nintendo. By the time November rolls around, Retro will have been working on this game for almost 5 years. After all that time, it would be very disappointing if it was just another Donkey Kong Country game. But let's pretend for 1 second that we're completely wrong, and Super Smash Bros. Switch comes out in November like any big holiday title. You know what? That would still be okay. Because it's Smash Bros., and it will still drive those Black Friday sales, making the Nintendo Switch the most popular Black Friday item yet again. Summing up, the first half of 2018 may not be too strong for the Nintendo Switch, but mark our words. The latter half will more than likely make up for it with Super Smash Bros., Fire Emblem, and maybe even Retro Studios' new game. It may be weaker than 2017, but that year will always be a hard one to top. Do you believe our predictions? Let us know in the comments section below. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that thumbs up if you liked this video, and subscribe if you are new for more Nintendo content. We'd also like to thank our patrons, including royal producer Kenyatta Ali, for helping us out on Patreon. If you'd like to know more about how you can help us with our endeavors for exclusive perks, visit patreon.com/commonrealm. Anyway, girls and guys, This is the Commonwealth Realm, and we will see you in the next one.